Welcome to the Penny Bloom Podcast. Ain't another place that has got more bombast. Romp past your mom, dad's listening to Tomcats. Talking everything that make you sad. We don't want that. We're here to make you smile. Put your mind at ease. Peace, love, and bloom, and always praise Keanu Reeves. This what we about. This some weeding now. We'll talk until we can't no more, and then we peacing out. Alright, let's go. Penny Bloom Podcast. It's the Penny Bloom Podcast. Penny Bloom Podcast. It's the Penny Bloom Podcast. Penny Bloom Podcast. Penny Bloom Podcast.
Hello, everybody, and welcome in to the Penny Bloom Podcast. This is Fire and Bloom, a House of the Dragon podcast, episode number 104, season 1, episode 4. It is a biggin. This was an important episode, an inevitable episode. I'm Colton Robertson. I'm joined by Joseph George. What's up, homie?
Oh, what up, what up? Always a pleasure to be here.
And it's always a pleasure to have you. Much to unpack this week for the 4th episode of season 1 of House of the Dragon.
King of the Narrow Sea.
King of the Narrow Sea.
The titles have been about a person every time, pretty much. The heirs of the dragon, the two. The rogue prince, the second of his name, and then back to the
Daemon.
King of the Narrow Sea. So we got 2 Daemon already.
All
one
right.
Aegon, one Viserys, and Rhaenys. Right? Would that be the heirs?
The heirs of the dragon could also be Rhaenyra and Balon.
True. I guess it works kind of
Died quite quickly.
in both ways.
But
There.
yeah. You I was watching this last night with Emily, and Emily pointed out that this episode was a bit harder to watch than weeks previous for reasons of the incestuous type.
Yes.
Understandably so. I had an interesting thought while watching this episode as compared to Game of Thrones, the original 8-season run. I think that the massive orgy sex scene done in the brothel was more artfully and tastefully done than any sex scene in the entirety of Game of Thrones besides maybe Dany and Jon on the ship.
Yeah. No, this was, if you are used to Game of Thrones, this was like, oh my god, this is like Game of Thrones stuff, but like even higher somehow. Like it was ultimate Game of Thrones with all the incest and all the sex and all the politics and all the everything going on. But
the rumors.
It I don't know. It did feel more like premium, a little like it was full on Thrones. And if you're used to Game of Thrones and you're used to all the incest and your mindset is set in their medieval kind of mindset as well. Like this episode was awesome. I love this
fucking episode. Yeah, it was a great one for me. I really, really loved it. But are you ready for a scene by scene?
Ooh. Oh, yeah.
All right. So, since we last saw Rhaenyra, Viserys has sent her on her go find a husband. Go wed. Find a man's. It's her tour. And she has a bunch of potential husbands lined up in several locations, and we open on her in a large hall full of men who would like to be her husband. And the first is an old man, older than her father even. And she points it out. She's like, this is pretty nasty of you. You can go ahead and fuck right off. And I was like, okay, Rhaenyra, I see you. Be about it. And then the second one is on the complete opposite side of the spectrum and is a very young lad. And Rhaenyra's like, okay, so an old fuck and then a baby. What the fuck going on here? And she's like, the kid makes a good claim, He's like, at my side you'll be safe, You'll have great days and your nights will be safe, protected by me. I was like, okay, just take the real one. And Rhaenyra was like, and that fuck boy on the side, like, nagging him. I'm like, dude, you're like at least 20 years older than this kid. How about you grow the fuck up, pussy?
Yeah, like,
and
dude,
then
what house did that dude belong to? What was his sigil? I couldn't I was trying to figure it out.
He wasn't a Baratheon because Baratheon was sitting next to Rhaenyra, but that was the one I could most tie him to for some reason.
Who's that guy that was sitting next to Rhaenyra? Is that like a new councilman that just is like?
I guess I think
because the council has grown. The council has grown, or has it? Is just everyone here now because like the Lannister, forget his first name, but he's sitting in on the council. And he had a ball. Like he had.
There's also the thing that I think that the council kind of rotates via whoever is present and available. I'm assuming, like he has high lords who he trusts. Who, if you're in town, come on through. We'll discuss this shit. But yeah, that's the thing though, is that I don't think any of them are like the master of coin or like the master of law. You know, like I think that they're just kind of there.
Like a high lord can just sit in on a council meeting, sort of,
if permitted. Yes, that would be my assumption. But yeah, Rhaenyra's like, all right, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and get the fuck out of here. This is ridiculous. I'm done. And it only because the young boy was like, you know what? You want to keep talking shit? Let me pull this sword on you right quick. So they both unsheath steel. We hear ting 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 in the background, and then we hear, and I'm like, nah, y'all ain't about to do this to me, bruh. Y'all are not about to show me this kid dead on the ground when you cut back. And nah, that little kid fucked that man up. And I was like, fucking good. I was like, I hope Lord Blackwood comes up later in the show as like an older dude who's just like an absolute pimp.
I can protect you now.
Yeah. He's like, I've become grizzled from my time in war.
You remember me last as a boy. I am now man. But I mean, I love how casual Rhaenyra was. Like, oh, yep, this is bound to happen. All right, let's go. Let's get out of here.
We got to get on out of here. Yeah, I thought that shit was funny. And she's like, all right, we're done. I'm done with this shit. We're going back to King's Landing. And apparently, it's about 2 months short of the time she was supposed to head back to King's Landing. And she has not chosen a suitor. So her father, it's seeming an inevitability, will be quite pissed with her. And amidst their journey back to King's Landing, we hear a dragon above the boat. We hear like the low rumbles that we're so familiar with that for some reason is the sound of a dragon. It doesn't make a whole bunch of sense. That'd be like, you know, like I don't know.
Yeah, I guess we don't know what the heck a dragon sounds like whatsoever. So any sound just makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, like any low ominous sound is like, oh well, there must be a dragon coming.
Yeah, it's like a little.
Like even that one makes more sense to me. But like they also like brace themselves whenever there's just like a low rumbling, like, and then they're like, oh well, that's got to be a fucking dragon. I'm like, I don't know.
They do a little. What would you call it? Like a. Like they do it like a little introductory screech, yeah, and then the rumble comes in,
yeah. But
yeah,
they're close to King's Landing, and fucking Daemon on Caraxes comes through and accidentally, not so accidentally, swats at the fucking ship that she's on. Doesn't do any damage or anything, but just scares the shit out of him. And I was like,
he's in the tower. He's just like Top Gun. Whenever you come in super close to the tower to like,
negative
I feel like that's what he's doing. You know,
negative Ghost Rider pattern is full. Yeah, and Rhaenyra, who bonks her head, stands up and looks mighty excited that Uncle Daemon is back in town. Not at all mad that he clipped her boat or anything. Just all in all, very satisfied with the fact that he's home.
Excited even.
Very.
Like
Uh,
she's
It's been 4 years. It's been 4 years. You know, last they talked, she was 15. Now she's 19, and she's like, I don't know, Uncle Damon, you seem to be pretty into me then. Let's see what's up now. And
she's
I
got that
again
necklace.
want to preface all of this with I do not condone incest. We're talking about Game of Thrones. We're talking about House of the Dragon, and therein I will make light of it.
Yeah.
In real life, no.
Yeah.
I would be much more avidly disgusted at these, especially given that this dude is her uncle, and he presumably has watched her grow up. Very, 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 very icky, very nasty, very icky indeed.
What a weird show to have to like talk about and be like, "Ooh, I really love this this change for this character as them loving their niece now." You know, I love this direction that they're going in.
Right.
But you know, maybe Rhaenyra and Aegon, now that's a little weird for me. But Rhaenyra and Daemon, that's some incest I could kind of get behind, I guess. You know, it's like, what a show to like get you to talk like that. Like,
yeah, no shit. Yeah. So I again just wanted to preface with, in real life terms, I don't make light of, and I don't condone any of this, but I'm talking House of the Dragon, I'm talking Game of Thrones. I'm a joke about it. I'm a talk about it like it's fine, like it's just something that happens, because I mean, in the Targaryen family it kind of is. However, we learn a little bit in this episode how it is still taboo. Like, they do not want that. Like, that's what's interesting too about the Targaryens, is that like, so they've all just been like, fuck it, man, we don't care what you think. Is that kind of how they've been? Like, I thought it was just kind of like everyone was like, fuck it, man, all right, who cares? But nah, apparently everyone's like, ick.
I feel like within the Targaryens, it's the king who knows the secret, the dream, that is like, you know what? Like, we need to keep our bloodline pure. Like, it's not like that's the way it's always been done. It's like, we need to keep our bloodline pure so that a Targaryen can be on the throne. And I think that's why, like, the Targaryens are just cool with it. And I think it's dwindling every king. You know, like, before it's okay, yes, we must.
Avidly against it.
Yeah. And I think that's just, over time, it just dwindles down, you know?
Well, and it's also the fact that it is his brother, I think, that contributes to it. It's not like it's a cousin on the other side of the family.
True.
No, that's literally his brother and his daughter. There's much to be appalled at there if you're Viserys.
Yeah.
But yeah, so everyone's like, fuck yeah, baby, Daemon's back. Let's go to the throne room. And Viserys stands up in front of his little throne. And despite her attempt to blend into the crowd, the king quickly notices that his daughter has returned quite early. And not only that, but that she is quite dressed up and is wearing the old Valyrian steel necklace. At least we noticed that. I don't know that he gives a shit about it. But he's like, all right, now's not the time to fucking deal with that. I'll get to that later, because Daemon is walking down the aisle toward his brother wearing a crown that seems to be made of bone. Does that look like bone to you?
That's what I was thinking. Yeah, that's what it looked like.
It's kind of dope. That's kind of dope. That's some lethal shit right there, bro. But yeah, he's walking down. He's holding out the crab feeder sword, and he goes, add it to the chair. And this was so fucking cold, because I didn't like everyone, and me included, thinking that Daemon would actually make a play at Viserys' throne. Like, I think he knows Viserys is king. It's my brother. I just need to protect him the best I can. Not exactly, I want to take it from him. I think he can be adamantly disappointed with his rule and the things that he does, but I don't think that means he necessarily wants to take the throne from him.
He's planning something. He's got something planned.
Oh, yeah. For sure.
And
But I don't think it's to take the throne away from his brother. I think it's to put himself in the best possible position to be named heir.
Yeah. I feel like right now he's just kind of waiting for Viserys to die. He's like, I'm not going to be the one to do it. You know, I won't kill my own brother to immediately take the throne, but maybe let me try to do it legitimately and win the power of the people. Is I think what he's trying to do right now. And I don't know, him saying like add it to the chair, like
that's my favorite line of the episode.
It got me to think about it. It might be mine. That's why I'm talking about it. Because I'm like, okay, it's definitely a candidate now. Because it got me to think of the throne in a whole new way. Like, is every sword there? Like, did it start, with nothing, and Aegon, or whoever the first to make the chair, I guess. Like, was it every land they conquered, they would take a sword and, just add it to the chair?
I'm pretty sure it was Aegon who built the Iron Throne, because I'm pretty sure it was forged by Dragonfire. Yeah. Like, it was made by Dragonfire, undone later on by Dragonfire as well. But
I don't know. It's just kind of cool that like it represents like kind of maybe that's why we have a much smaller Iron Throne now, is because all of those swords that were out on front were like it's the Targaryen dynasty of all of those swords, and then once a new dynasty gets in, they're like, do we really want to celebrate all of the Targaryen?
Yeah, right.
Conquerage, But the chair's still sick as fuck, so we're gonna keep that look.
Yeah, but, that shit. All the other shit's too fucking cool. I'm gonna need that there, but
maybe I'm thinking too like far into it. But
no, I'm with you though. I think you're right. I think it is from the enemies defeated that they take these swords and they quote add it to the chair. But Viserys asks Daemon about his unique crown, because you wear a crown? You call yourself king? And he says, once we smashed the Triarchy, they named me king of the Narrow Sea. And then there's like a very, very high tension here in between when he takes this pause, and then he goes, but I know that there is only one true king, your grace. And then he kneels. My crown and the stepstones are yours.
He's being a good boy now.
Yeah. Being the good brother. And Viserys is adamantly happy with this. He is very, very pleased with this revelation. It was quite unexpected. And Daemon adds that Corlys has sailed home to the Driftmark and that they left 2,000 of the Crab Feeder's men staked to the sand to warn anyone who might try to take the area again. And Viserys takes Daemon's crown, and Daemon shares a loaded look with Hightower, who looks at him and is like, "What's up, pussy?" But then the king says, "Rise," and embraces Daemon, and everyone applauds. And I was like, yeah, I wish it was all like this. I wish everything was just like, yeah, we're good.
It's going to be good whenever, the scene is happening in the throne room. I always, like, everything just seems to be, it goes down in the throne room. And I don't know, I love, like, it is immediate that I am like, all right, what's Daemon planning? Like, what's he scheming at? Like, there's no chance he actually is a reformed man that's acting like this. Like, I cannot believe it whatsoever.
Let me ask you this. How you feeling about the new hair?
Ooh, at first, I didn't like it, and I prefer the long hair.
Grew on
but as the episode went on, I'm like, you know what? I think it fits him better. Like,
yeah. I think it makes sense. Like, later on when it's like all fucking messy and shit, I'm like, yeah, you know what? That fits the image of Daemon very, very well. So I too, like in the promo for like the next episode, next on Game of Thrones last week, I was like, no, I love the long hair. Don't do that. But yeah, it's grown on me as well. But at a party, go ahead.
Since it's just insane how much Matt Smith has climbed just on like my own personal scale, simply because of Morbius, which is on Netflix now. If you want to watch it, I know
not watching it until we come to it in the project. I've sworn it off.
That's awesome. But he has climbed so high, and like I have forgotten that he was whoever in Morbius. I already forgot the name of the dude again.
I feel like it's like Hugo or something. I don't know.
But this is his role now. Like this is what I know him as.
Happened.
Yeah, it has happened. It probably did last episode after the final surrender.
You just need a little bit more to anchor it.
But man, it was like, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
he fits
fucking
Damon really well.
fucking fantastic in this role. Like it's astounding how fucking good he is as Daemon Targaryen. But next up at a party to celebrate Daemon's return, a quite drunken Viserys is acting as though he and his brother haven't been estranged for like actual years. And then Rhaenyra, however, fucking dead to him. She says one thing to Daemon, and he looks at her and goes, like, doesn't say anything, but his eyes said, "Fuck you." Yeah. And then he turned right back, and like he's really not happy with the fact that she did not take a suitor and came back 2 months early. He's like, you know what? You didn't do your duty. We did a whole thing last week where I told you that not even I am above tradition, and here you go, coming back above tradition, apparently. Like, you have more suitors than anybody in the realm, and none of them are good enough?
Damn. Yeah, she came back 2 months early. Is that what she's doing every day?
Yeah.
Just guys are lining up every day being like, yo, here's why you should marry me.
I'm assuming it's got to be close to every day.
Damn. That's insane. Yeah, what a natural way to find a partner in life. She's basically just the Bachelorette, and every dude's just running up trying to be like, yeah, I got the most ships. I got a big castle. I got an army. You want to marry me? And I mean,
he's like, oh, how romantic.
I am happy with where her love romantic side is going. I'm happy.
Yeah, it was an intriguing. I mean, this episode was just full of intrigue. Like I was on the edge of my seat. I was like, man, I absolutely loved it. But let's boogie on down the road. Alicent takes pity on the princess and teases her as she goes to be with Rhaenyra all alone on the side about how romantic she imagines it is to have thousands of men line up for a chance at her hand. And Rhaenyra scoffs. She's like, oh, how romantic it must be to get imprisoned in a castle and squeeze out heirs. And Alicent goes blank face, very sad. And this is officially, if you thought Alicent was a villain, you were fucking wrong. You know, like, I'm so glad they did this episode because she is very clearly unhappy. Now, don't get me wrong. I think we're definitely going to get a Cersei Lannister sort of devolvement into, you know what? I've been stepped on this whole fucking time. How about I step on you? You know, I think it's inevitable, but her story and her scenes over the course of this episode made her this week's favorite character for me.
Ooh.
Alicent was my favorite this week. I absolutely loved her in this episode just because it really brought home just how devastated she's been, and I think Emily Carey acted her ass off for this week. She did fucking incredible. But yeah, Rhaenyra's like, I'm sorry. Sorry about that.
You think she realized that she was saying that at first, or do you think she caught herself like in the moment, like, oh wait, shit? Like,
yeah, I think as soon as she like let out and squeezed out air, she went,
yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Sorry, mom, friend,
yeah,
queen.
But yeah, for the first time in some time, they share a sweet moment, acknowledging how much they've missed each other. And I was like, oh, thank God. I'm going to go ahead and savor this sweet moment while it's here. I have a feeling y'all are never going to be friends again. I feel like this is like a last nice moment, you know? or amongst them anyway.
I don't know. I think there could be some
I'm
Rhaenyra's
I'm
love
certain.
life. Like I feel like Alicent still has a role in Rhaenyra's love life. There's still something going on there. The line of last week that I didn't really pick up on, but on rewatch, Rhaenyra saying, or Viserys being like, I even want you to be happy. You know, I want you to be contented. I'm happy even. And then Rhaenyra goes, and you think a man would do that?
Mm.
I think I catch it first. Like at first, it's like her. You think it's her just saying like, "Oh, you think marrying me off, is going to just make me happy?"
No, I had the very same thought. Yeah,
she put an emphasis on man, and her fit. Like it was kind of like I kind of trying to like tell him. I think a little bit like,
here's my thing. I'm gonna bring some real world logic into this one.
Mm.
Once the woman or man I have a crush on has had sexual relations with a parent of mine, that's off the table now. Like I'm no longer interested.
I did not think about it that way. It's such an unlikely situation that it's just not in the front brain. But yeah.
Yeah, once that's happened, I'm like, yeah, sure, I had a crush on you for years, but now you can just be a good friend.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I mean, it could be like, oh, we could have been, but you chose my dad.
Yeah, exactly. Some shit like that. But no, yeah, I'm certain Alicent's gonna steer into everything she's going through and kind of harness her anger and her sadness and turn it into her being a powerful queen who doesn't take shit from anybody.
I see that. Yeah, I can. She's going down a path with Otto gone now that like I guess she doesn't have Otto. She's gonna have to start acting on her own.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, you're definitely right. She's going Cersei to the max.
Yeah. I frankly, I really like it. Like I said, she was my favorite character this week, and I have the feeling that it won't be the last week that she is. And yeah, I think this was my first week that Rhaenyra wasn't my top one favorite character because, I mean, she was awesome in this episode. Don't get me wrong, but I kind of wanted to switch things up. I was like, you know what? Let's throw some love to everyone else because I think I've chosen Rhaenyra for my favorite character every single week for 3 weeks.
Hard not to.
Yeah, and frankly, if I'm being like 100% real with myself, I almost certainly go with Rhaenyra again this week. But
this was the first one where I am going with Daemon, obviously.
Obviously.
Like, not that I like him, and I'm like, yes, I want him on the throne. Daemon's my boy. But it's like his character is the most interesting character in the show, and I really don't think it's close. Like, he has so many different little, hands in different things, as well as having already, like, badass scenes. Like,
right.
That last episode, like, that is like a battle of the bastards, like Jon Snow standing up, ready for the whole army. Like, he had, like, a moment like that already, which is amazing. And his storylines are just, to me, the most interesting right now. It is Daemon that I'm like, all right, when is he going to get back on screen? When am I going to know what he's doing next?
Right.
That was me during this episode.
And I get that, dude. Like 100%. Daemon was. This was they've been framing Rhaenyra as the main character, but Daemon almost feels like he's obviously number 2 in that line. He's definitely a crux for this story to pivot upon. But let's push forth to the beginning of the Ickies. Rhaenyra and Daemon. are talking here, and she asks him why he's really returned. But all he'll say is that he missed the comforts of home. And she notes a new maturity in him. Oh, you've matured since we last met, and he's like, "You've matured yourself these last 4 years, princess." No.
Yeah. I mean,
and it's the
far-
choice of words. Matured. Could have said grown. Matured.
he's already planting the seeds immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Like already. Like the comforts of home. You know, like that's like the first, like everything he is saying, it's like surrounding the idea. And I don't know. We've like Otto, you know, we're like, yeah, that's one calculated, you know, he's very Littlefinger-esque. Damon is like Littlefinger, but he has the power to actually kill and like have an army and a dragon. You know, it's like it's the ultimate where Littlefinger wanted to be. Like if Littlefinger imagine if Littlefinger had a dragon.
He reminds me of Ramsay Bolton if Ramsay wasn't a masochist. Like if Ramsay wasn't horny to make people suffer.
Ooh,
he would be.
That's a good character comparison there.
Like he's really cold, calculated, and don't get me wrong, still a shit human, still a bad guy. But let's face it, I don't think there's been anybody on screen who has ever or will ever be quite as masochistic as Ramsay Bolton. There are a few characters in the original Game of Thrones run that are more disgusting, but as villainous and just pure evil. I don't know that there is another one, which is crazy considering it had Joffrey and shit. I still think Ramsay was like infinitely worse than Joffrey. Like if you put him on the throne, the realm's fucked.
Oh fuck. Yeah. No. Yeah, that's I don't know. I like that comparison though. I don't think Damon will reach that level of. He could.
Yeah, he certainly could. I don't think he's been that like.
I feel like his arc is in the opposite direction. Like he will be. I don't know. I guess
that's
maybe
what's so
like
cool about him. He's like truly gray. Like we have no clue where he'll go.
Yeah, it's like I think he will play nice right now and hold up his appearance in public, you know, and play the role that he's supposed to be playing right now, just for the public's eye. Because even Viserys talks about it in this episode. He's like, it's all about perception. Like, it doesn't matter what the truth is. It's all about perception.
Right.
And Damon, you know, it's what he's doing right now.
Yeah.
To everybody. And I think
he's playing the game, man.
Is it that he will get crazier as time goes on? Or maybe when he starts living this life, do you think like this is just how he rules? Like, or like if he gets there, you know, like instead of going mad and crazy, do you think it's more of like, oh, like this is actually maybe this is my ruling strategy now, you know?
That's what's interesting about Damon is that I do think he's a little crazy, but he's like I said, cold and calculated. Like he knows what he needs to do to get things done. He's not going to act on a whim. You know, like he truly knows what he needs to do to make things happen, which makes him arguably more dangerous. Like he's not as loose a cannon, but he knows what he needs to do to get things done.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, and that's the thing is that like he could die in 2 episodes. He won't. Like I think they keep him through this whole season. I think he survives the season probably, but like
and die as well.
But I don't know. I guess at the end of everyone will die. I mean, like with all these people are dead, not a single one of them is alive.
True.
Now
it is an inevitability given the Game of Thrones timeline.
I don't think Damon makes it to his old age though.
I has the feeling he does not as well. But alas, this conversation continues between them in High Valyrian, and they discuss how much Damon hates his wife. And he's like, come on now, you got to get married. And she's like, man, that shit's a life sentence. He's like, not really. I get to do whatever I want still. It's just a political arrangement. And she's like, for men, yeah, sure. For women, it's a death sentence. My mom died in childbirth and went through hell throughout her life because of this. And I don't intend to do the same thing. And he responds, you cannot live your life in fear or you will forsake the best parts of it.
Fear or love? Don't say the answer.
Actions speak louder than words.
I cannot believe that a show has me kind of like excited that I was like a little right in assuming that an uncle and niece would get together. I'm like,
right.
I'm like, fuck yeah, while I'm watching this episode.
You're like, yeah, I called it.
Yeah, as things are happening, I'm like, fuck yes. And then I'll take a step back and I'm like, damn, like I made a bet on like incest basically. And now I'm hype over that. That's wow. Just
the ick everywhere. But, you cannot live your life in fear or you will forsake the best parts of it. And, she says she doesn't want to live in fear, only solitude. She's like, I'd like to be alone. Leave me the fuck alone. But
do you think she'll ever marry?
I think she will because of politics. But I think she will remain adamant that she does not want to. But next up at the small council meeting, Otto has word that Corliss, who's still super pissed that years ago Viserys didn't take Lena as his wife, has allied with the Sea Lord of Braavos in the Free Cities by promising Lena to the Sea Lord's son. And if he does that, we would have to seek our own marriage pact. He says ominously, with a wink, nudge, nudge at Rhaenyra right next to him, like, you gonna have to marry Laenor, hun, okay? But yeah, it was like that was an interesting little, and I'm excited to get Corliss back. Like, I think that next episode, I think we'll get some more Corliss Valerian. I think he's a really intriguing character that I like seeing on screen, but yeah, I liked this just little bit of politics that's so small a part of this episode, but a massive pivot point for the series as a whole. Like that's just how Game of Thrones works, and it's fucking fantastic.
In Braavos, what's in Braavos?
Vala Magulis.
Okay.
Valadohyrus. Yeah, Braavos, the free city of Braavos is where
that's what I was thinking.
The Faceless Men post up. That's where Arya trained for years. They got those giant statues leading into the city that like have the swords crossed up top. Yeah.
It's probably gonna look like pristine or more pristine than...
it might look like the prequel trilogy compared to the original trilogy. Everything will look all spruced up and nice and elegant and epic, but I hope we see it. That'd be awesome. But returning to her quarters for the evening, Rhaenyra finds that someone has left her a bag of commoner's clothes and a map, indicating a secret door in her bedroom wall. So she's like, cool, let's do this shit. She goes ahead, she throws on the outfit, and I like that she's rocking like a fucking beanie. I think that's funny.
Like to hide her hair.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. But like, I love that it's a beanie. Like, I don't know. I feel like we don't see a lot of beanies in Game of Thrones time.
This very like specific. Like, obviously they have to hide their hair. I mean, they can't be recognized.
Right.
They're like some of the most recognizable people. I get maybe because like does someone who never enters a castle ever see? I guess they see I don't know. Like if they ever see the actual king.
I think the people with those hair, you're Valyrian, you are Targaryen. No matter what, you're not down here, bro. You better. Yeah, true. You're someone important. So yeah, she conceals her hair. She sneaks on out, and the secret path leads through the dragon's den and stuff. She goes past Balerian's skull, and it leads her to Daemon, who is similarly dressed in a hooded cape, and he doesn't say a word, and he takes her hand, and she's like, "Where are we going?" And I was like, "Oh, fucking no! Oh shit! Goddamn!"
It's happening.
Yeah, and the whole time, like for a week straight, I've been like prepping Emily. I would on last Monday, I went, "I want you to be prepared. This Sunday, Daemon and Rhaenyra will happen." And she's like, "No," and then like a few days later, I'm like, "Remember, this Sunday, Daemon and Rhaenyra will happen." Then we're watching this episode. She's going through the secret path, and I go, "Hey, babe, you know who's at the end of this path? Daemon."
So you guessed it too?
Yeah.
Okay. This was a moment where I was like, "Fuck yeah, I got it right, yes."
And then you were like,
"Fuck." I was like, damn.
Because yeah, I was like, Daemon's at the end of this stroll.
It's so interesting watching, like, me having just watched Game of Thrones and being used to all of this and knowing that it's kind of commonplace. And having someone that's next to me that is like, icked. Just absolutely like, how is this television that you're watching? You're like, I'm enjoying it, but how do you, like, why is this the way it is? Like, I mean, she's liking it. Like that's the thing though.
It's a good show.
It is entertaining, but like, there's definitely parts that she just doesn't care to watch. Like
100%. Yeah. And I can't blame anyone for that perspective. It is a difficult show to watch, especially if you are not familiar with Game of Thrones as a whole. But yeah, they take a stroll here through King's Landing's the streets, these streets of King's Landing, which bunch of people fucking on the it's like a fucking circus down here, bro. People are walking on a fucking tightrope. What the fuck are we doing down here in the streets of King's Landing?
Everyday shit.
Yo, and let me tell you, if I'm Rhaenyra, I'm going, why am I not fucking down here?
Yeah. Is this because they said it was like during I don't know if they were referring to like a specific time or just like nighttime. They said like it was done after the owls something, and I didn't know if this was
the hour parade. Of the owl.
Okay, so
yeah. I think that's like, just night.
So this is just a normal night.
This is how nights are in the streets of King's Landing.
Damn.
And Rhaenyra is very clearly taken with it. She's all smiles. She's like, "Oh shit, this place is awesome." And I just thought it was so particularly interesting that every time she saw someone having sex, they made a point to go to her face, looking at them, smiling. Like they were like, "Rhaenyra horny. She wants to have sex."
Yeah.
And that's the other thing too, is that because she's a maiden, she's not to have had her flower taken. She's supposed to be a virgin whenever she's married off to people. So there's a couple things at work here. It's kind of I don't want to marry anybody, but that doesn't seem so bad. Yeah, and they're making the walkthrough, and they pause to watch a little play, which I love the plays put on by peasants in Game of Thrones, and they watch a fight for the Iron Throne, and the crowd is very vocally anti-Rhaenyra, and I like that she's like, "No, boo, slander."
The only one.
And she's kind of like fucking around too. She's like laughing. She's like, "Boo." She's like, "No." She don't give a fuck.
She's still kind of pissed off though, a little bit.
Oh like, yeah, how could you not be? This is annoying, but another purposeful thing Daemon took her to see to kind of be like, hey, check this out. Nobody thinks you're fit to be the heir. If only there was some way we could strengthen the claim that you have for the throne. And that's the game Daemon's at the whole time, you know? Like, the entire time, it's planting seeds in her mind like, we should be wed. That's what should happen. But alas, you know, this is where the voiceover came from last week, where it was like, who will be on the throne? The brother, the daughter, or the babe of 3 years, or whatever the fuck.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I'm thinking this is like someone in the actual throne room.
I thought so too. The way they framed it, it was so misleading.
Yeah. Like I thought this was like a big event where they were deciding, like actually making the decision.
Mm-hmm.
And no, it's just a
which makes a lot more sense. You know, I was kind of like last week when they led me that way. I was kind of like, that's weird. I felt like we were kind of fine, which I'm glad it remains the case that was not a real event. But Daemon points out that people want Aegon. Oops, sorry. Daemon points out that people want Aegon to be the heir to the throne. And she's like, it doesn't fucking matter what they want. Their wants are of no consequence. And he's like, well, they are of great consequence if you expect to rule one day. Again, just being like, you need to consider what the people want a little bit more. But she walks up to a vendor after talking about her inheritance and stuff, and she just like picks up something and is like ready to eat. And so this part was her forgetting that she has to pay for things, right?
Yeah, I think. And then I think it was like,
and then they had to play it off.
I think it was also because weren't they talking about like Rhaenyra was like, I'm not actually free, or like I want a little taste of freedom, like right before. And
yeah, like I wish I could be free of my inheritance, is what she says.
Yeah, and then she like starts to run. I think it's like a mixture of, oh shit, I actually have to pay for this, and like I just want to run away, right? I just want to be I just want to run.
Yeah, because like
just to run.
She picks some shit up, and Daemon's like, well, down here you got to pay for that. Like that's going to cost you like 4 silver or whatever the fuck, and she's like, oh shit. She throws it at the guy, runs away, and he's like, hey boy, and Daemon's like, I'll get him. And he goes chasing, and Rhaenyra runs through the streets, and she runs into a knight, who unfortunately does indeed recognize her. But when he sees Daemon, he merely says, you know, all right, you got lucky this time. Next time I'm gonna take you fucking home. And he says, take care, boy, and lets her go. And they continue on, and Daemon's like, oh, you have fucking fun with that, huh? She's like, I don't know, it was kind of fun. But then he's like, all right, now for the real shit. Come on, let me show you some fun. Takes her on down to the brothel, the good old pleasure house, where all manner of sexual activity and lewdness is on display, and very, very plain to see. And she is all smiles walking through this building. She is very, very like, oh, whoa, fascinating, dope.
She's ready.
Yeah, she goes, what is this place? She asked to Daemon, and Daemon, they're like really, really face to face when she's asking. She's still looking around, but he's like right there. And he says, it's where people come to take what they want. And he explains in a creepy whisper that marriage doesn't have to keep a person from doing what they want. And he starts kissing her right there in the middle of this room full of naked folks. And things get quite heated. Her shirt is undone. They're up against a wall. But Damon seems to come to a decision rather abruptly and leaves her there alone as she continues to try to kiss him, and he keeps pulling away. So
I don't know if I'm missing something, but I don't know if I fully understand this.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Glad we're on the same page here. This was a part that I thought we were going to have to work through. I'm of the mind this specific part was not part of Damon's plan.
It felt like a change of plan.
The pulling away.
Yeah.
At first, he had every intention of doing it, and then got there and went. And I don't think it's like I can't do this to my brother. It's I can't do this to her like this now.
But he was like, his plan was to be very public with it and be seen. Like that was part of his plan.
That was
that already happened. Sorry. Thank you. But at first he was pulling away, and I thought it was his way of being like, let me see if she really wants this too.
Mm-hmm.
Like testing, like to see if she wants to
testing the waters.
But then his face kind of got more serious and more like, it was something else.
My other idea was that he was just. The other side of it is that this was part of his plan, and he truly is scum of the earth. Because frankly, it is incestuous sex is not good. I'm frankly of the mind that for Rhaenyra's mental health, this was actually the worst way this could have gone.
Yeah.
To be led on by her uncle, be fully into it, and then him just leave her in the dust.
Ooh.
Sure, if they do go through with it, maybe she has some regret or something. But now it's had the same effect as if they had, but she's been left on the hook, which is like,
it's a
now she's feeling bad about herself. Probably like, why didn't he want to do that? Like, what did I do wrong? And maybe she's not. Maybe she is like, man, fuck that guy. I didn't do shit wrong, which frankly she should be. She should be like, I didn't do it. But can't help but be like, yo, what the fuck just happened here? Like, I was very clearly into that. You were into it for a second. You left. What the fuck happened?
Because whenever he was like monologuing about just marriage doesn't lock you down. You can fuck whoever you want. In my mind, I'm thinking that Daemon wants to marry Rhaenyra, for their claim. But is he saying marriage doesn't lock you down, you can fuck who you want? Is he saying that because he knows Rhaenyra can't marry Daemon, but he just still wants to fuck her, so he's getting her just okay with the idea?
I would think the opposite. I would think that he wants to marry her, tried his very, very best to provide the physical act that would lead you to think he would like to marry her, and actually couldn't go through with it. That would be the other option, that he hasn't actually been attracted to Rhaenyra, but has been trying to keep her on the hook as a possibility to strengthen his claim to the throne.
Because I think, in my head, I feel Daemon, the only person he would ever think of marrying and being okay with publicly and actually just cool with is Rhaenyra. I feel. And I feel like that's his goal of this game playing is to weaken Viserys and, weaken Rhaenyra in the process.
Well, I mean, his goal is clear. I think his goal, he succeeded in what he wanted to do. It's just the fact that he doesn't go through with it here that we kind of question why he doesn't go through with it here. Like, because it did have the same effect as them actually having sex. They did.
It does not feel like it was part of his plan. It felt like it surprised him.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I don't want to say that this was a calculated part to get Rhaenyra wanting him more, or
I don't think so.
I don't think it was him playing hard to get,
because he is pissed when he leaves. Like when he punches the wall, he's like, "Fuck."
Yeah, he's man. What
the fuck's going through his head right there? Like, my like final where my money's at. And I don't want to give Daemon too much credit because my gut is telling me he got exactly what he wanted out of this interaction. I do think he went into it thinking he would have sex with Rhaenyra here, but got what he needed anyway. But there is also the possibility that he does truly care for Rhaenyra, realizes that if he does do this here, it not only fucks Viserys, but it fucks her as well. If this happens here, it's less likely that she is an apt candidate to become heir, and his marriage to her hardly matters at that point. It's like, well, now people have publicly seen Daemon and Rhaenyra getting it on. He's just going to go ahead and name Aegon heir and fuck them. Fuck right off. So I think it is kind of like I would like to do this, but I'm just now realizing it is not the way that we should go about it happening.
Yeah,
so I think
I land there too. I feel like it's him giving up at the last minute out of like love, actually, like out of like, even though, what he's doing overall is,
and it still would be, it's a combination. It's like, oh yeah, I care about her and Theron. I don't want to ruin her image. But that also means that if he ruins her image, he has no chance of marrying her and becoming king. Because he'll just disinherit both of them. Okay.
The little boy who saw it the little spy, who Massaria, like it talked to Massaria.
Yeah.
It didn't seem that was part of Daemon's plan. Like it didn't, like he was planning to be seen, but not like literally. Like, he didn't know about this little kid, right? Mm-hmm. Like, this was Massaria's own dude.
He was betting on, I think he was betting on being seen, but he was not sure where it would come from. I do think that he knew it would be a spy of Otto's.
Okay.
So that he could discredit Otto in the process.
Yeah.
I do think he thought all that, but I don't think he knew Massaria is working with Otto somehow.
Okay, so that's the thing that he didn't know. Okay, yeah, because he woke up there. Was he with Massaria? Like, did he come into King's Landing with her?
I don't think so.
Did he like wake up? Like, did he know
the thing I got from this is that he got like drugged last night. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was the vibe I got, because he woke up and was like, what the fuck? Where am I? What's going on? At least that's the vibe I got. He doesn't outwardly express any of that. But I have the feeling this is not where he fell asleep. You know,
No.
like I don't get the vibe that he just like happened upon this chamber and fell asleep right here. And I also don't get the idea that he got this fucked up with Rhaenyra last night, unless he went off and got fucked up some more afterwards. Like,
Yeah, I was confused. I don't know. It felt like he was a prisoner there, and prisoner in very, air quotes. Like I don't know. Like it felt like Massaria was the one who was like talking down to him, being like, "Yeah, and look at you. Look at what you're doing. I'm not so common." Like does she give money to the boy, or does the boy give money to her?
the boy gives her something.
Was it money or was it?
I couldn't tell you. I didn't pay that close attention to that part, but
yeah,
something fishy is afoot with Massaria seemingly working with Otto, because that was one of Otto's spies, and the kid's also reporting to Massaria. So there's some tie between Massaria and Otto that I'm assuming is just sort of a we're working together sort of thing.
Mm.
Potentially to take down Daemon.
You think she's? Yeah, I guess that makes sense. She's pissed at Daemon.
Yeah, she was used by Daemon a couple weeks ago. Whenever he was like, "Yeah, we're gonna be married, we're gonna have a kid," and she's like, "What the fuck? No, we're not." Yeah, so I think Otto and Massaria are very, very keen on the idea of taking down Daemon Targaryen. Otto for much more obvious and plain reasons. He's just he feels very threatened by Daemon.
It is not obvious what the little boy hands her. It's something metal. It sounds clinky. Like either sounds like a key or some coins. Yeah, I can't really tell. But I think it's just to show that there's a connection between, like, that's all the boy is serving. Like it's just to serve the purpose of there's a connection with Massaria and Otto.
Mm-hmm. I agree. But that whole sequence was paralleled with a scene back at the Red Keep where Alicent is spending her evening bathing Viserys and his many wounds, drinking by herself, and then so Viserys is like, that man's dead next week,
dude. Yeah, no, and in the next on as well, like he's looking rough.
Like this man's dead within the next 2 episodes.
Yeah, he's done. His back, that's not good.
Fuck,
his
dude?
fingers gone. Like his pinky and ring finger are like gone.
Yeah.
And poor Alicent, man. God,
this sequence was just devastating because, she's laying there at night crying herself to sleep, and her maid walks in and is like, the king requires your presence. And she's like, it's quite late. And she's like, yeah, it is. So if you wouldn't mind, let's get a move on. And this was the hardest part of the episode to watch. In a scene where paralleled with the scene where there's an incestuous relationship taking place. Yeah. This was the harder scene to watch. Her unmoving, dead-eyed, blank face being defiled by an old, lesioned, self-thrusting old man.
Oh, man.
Dude,
like, there's so many things going on. It's like she's realizing that she's trapped up in the castle and only being there to provide more heirs, as well as
like looks down at her and she's like,
Yeah.
She like makes a smile. It's like, oh my
and
god.
then
Oh
just
my
like
god.
back to the blank. Like, and Damon is like, sex is it's for the pleasure of both people, and it like they're like, it's supposed to be, for the man and the woman, and then you just see absolute no pleasure whatsoever, and like
Zero enjoyment out of what's
God
happening here.
damn, man.
And this was just the nail in the coffin for me for being like, yeah, anyone who's been villainizing her can fuck right off, man. She didn't deserve any of the shit happening to her.
No. Yeah. No. A little weird of her like talking about like Aegon's birth in the cart to Rhaenyra. That's like kind of the only weirdish part about her, I'd say.
Yeah.
But I think it was just like she didn't know what she was saying either. It was just like, yeah, I'm telling you, like my birth was cool. Like, I don't know, it was cool. Like she's not really thinking of about what she's saying. Kind of like when Rhaenyra tells her like, I don't want to be trapped up in a castle and just producing. Oh shit,
Yeah,
like
exactly.
I think it was
the same thing.
Yeah. So I don't like, she's done nothing to be a villain like whatsoever so far.
Yeah, I think she's just been a misunderstood victim of grooming, essentially. Like I think she was groomed by her father. I think Viserys also did a very similar thing.
Yeah.
I think basically in any situation where you think you can blame Alicent for something, you can turn that and blame it on Otto or Viserys. I think it's kind of been the case so far. But alas, after being teased to no end, Rhaenyra makes it on back to the Red Keep, goes straight to her room. Sir Criston sees her and is like, what the fuck? Didn't I say goodnight to you a while ago?
I've been sitting at this door the whole time. How the fuck did you get out?
He's like, he is baffled. She walks right in through that door and he's like, and she answers and she like grabs his helmet and plays keep away with it. And I went, oh no.
I went, fuck yes.
I did too.
My
man.
boy.
I went, yeah. No, like, here's my thing is I looked at Emily and I went, Rhaenyra says she gonna get fucked tonight. That's what she said.
Yeah. I'm not going down empty.
I'm having sex this evening.
Yeah.
Now that happened, nah, fuck it. I'm going home. Kristen's there for me. I got this shit. Yeah, she plays keep away with it. She offers it to him. She takes it away. She offers it to him. She takes it away. And I was like, oh man, this is just like the most basest form of flirting there is. It's a universal flirt.
I know. I loved every second of this. Like, I'm like, okay, not just for the sex and for, it's two hot people having sex. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
But like, no, like legitimately, I think like for a Game of Thrones show, like this was as cute as it's going to get. Like,
this was sweet.
This
like,
was so cute. And like, I'm rooting for Criston Cole. That's my dude. I've been riding for this guy. The sky's the limit for Criston Cole for me. He's the Jon Snow.
He's a good dude. I think he's just going to be like, I think this very scene is going to cause a fuckload of problems.
Hand to the Queen?
Oh?
Sir Criston Cole? Is that a possibility if he's Queensguard? Like,
I don't know,
like
question.
I could see him as a hand. I don't know. I mean, that's like way down the line. Or I guess maybe next episode we get old Rhaenyra. Like, it is the thing. Like,
right.
When does the switch happen?
I think it's between 5 and 6.
Okay. So we get one more episode of young Rhaenyra and young Alicent.
Yeah.
Dang, man. That's crazy.
Yep, we're almost there. But yeah, so she offers him the helmet right in front of her face. She takes it away and gives him a kiss, and I was like, oh. And he's not like, oh fuck yeah, he's like,
like, I can't be doing this, but like,
He's like, man, this ain't something I'm supposed to do. She knows how to take off some armor too, man. She was just like, boop, boop, boop. And I love how long and drawn out they made this process of them getting undressed, because I've always been like, how heat of the moment can it possibly be for you to have to take off all that shit?
It's got to take a while.
Because even her, when they were like lacing down the boots,
yeah,
it took fucking forever.
Man, it takes some time to get undressed.
I was like, and you know what? I thought that shit was so cute too when they were sitting right next to each other unlacing the boots and stuff. I was like, oh.
Yeah, you know, the pre-sex, like the taking off the clothes, you know, like they're like, all right, and then you're taking off. I don't know.
It just happens to be a much longer process for them, which is hilarious.
They got a whole thing tied down their entire leg.
So the anticipation is just building and building and building, you know, and you know, he lets her take off his armor, and then she gets to his white cloak, the symbol of his vows as a king's guardsman to not marry. He pauses a long moment staring at it, and then he goes, I'm going to go ahead and set this shit down. I've got a Targaryen right here. Let's go ahead and see what this is about. Eventually, they're both in the nude, and pretty soon, Princess Rhaenyra is no longer Virginia.
Nope. And this made me very happy. This
was the turn of events we needed to happen. However, for the episode, it was the turn of events we needed to happen. I am concerned with the potentiality. I think your prediction last week comes to bear much more fruit, as I think one day she will give birth to some children and they will pop out with some black heads of hair.
Yes, dude. The end scene, the plan B, you know, the medieval plan B, like she is pregnant. She got pregnant, and the rumors are gonna believe that it's Daemon because it'll line up like, oh, she was seen in a horror, you know, with Daemon, and now she's pregnant. Well, would you look at that? Who's it gonna be? Everyone's gonna be like, it's Daemon's baby. Wait.
Medieval Plan B. That makes so much more sense. I didn't even know what the fuck that was.
The concoction, yeah. Like, it'll get rid of any unwanted consequences of what you have done from the king. Like, it was...
Yeah.
And I had to be very careful in making this, like, because I could kill you with it, you know, if I make it wrong, sort of thing. Yeah, right. So I took it as just a plan B, but she's not going to take it. Like,
oh, you don't think she takes it?
No. Because I knew it was going to cut to black without showing her decision. In the moment I'm like, oh, it's going to cut off, right? Oh, and then I literally and then it cut off like as I was literally saying it out loud. No, that is Kristen Cole's baby in there. The world's gonna think it's a pure Targaryen. Bam, fuck them.
Brown heads of hair. Kristen Cole is disinherited. She's disinherited, and that's that.
Wouldn't it be amazing if somehow this baby is like, who's the Stark? Fuck that gave birth to John. Lyanna. I knew it started with an L. If this is somehow Lyanna's lineage, and she is a Targaryen as well, a little bit, too. Like, Rhaegar is, you know, he's from the Targaryen line. Cool. Like, we know he's a Targaryen, whatever. But imagine.
What if one of the babies she has with Kristen Cole marries a Stark, and then she
is blood Stark. She's not
she was Ned's sister.
Yeah, so blood Stark, but the other half of her, I don't know how that would work. Actually,
it'd be like a very distant, quarter eighth.
I guess because then that would mean that Ned is somehow has some Targaryen in him as well.
Yes.
So I guess okay, probably not. Um, and yeah, that would literally mean every Stark that we have seen has a little bit of Targaryen in them. So, but it would be a very small amount, I guess.
True.
But no, I'm so ready for that baby to pop out with dark hair. It is just going to happen.
Yeah, it definitely is. But yeah, unfortunately for Rhaenyra here, the little boy who saw her at the brothel finds his way to Otto Hightower and lets him know what he has seen. And would you look at that? He works for Massaria. And early the next morning, Otto goes to Viserys' chambers to let him know that Rhaenyra, he's like, I have some discomforting news, my liege. He's like, go on with it. It is never easy to tell a man the exploits of his daughter. And I legitimately audibly went, oh, is it, Otto? Oh, is it, Mr. Go see to the king's bed?
Oof.
Yeah, don't tell me you concerned about what happens with your daughter, okay?
I did love that it kind of focused on his face before he went to Viserys' room, and he was like, fuck, how do I say this? Fuck. but yeah, nah, he deserved what's coming here.
What's cool too is that like I think he knew this news doomed him too. He was like, fuck, I can't not tell Viserys, but then Viserys is going to know that I'm spying on Rhaenyra.
Oh. Okay, I didn't take it as that. That's definitely what that was. It wasn't him just being like, fuck, how do I say this to him? Because he doesn't care about that. I think that's why he's stumbling, is because he knows that Doom's hit. Like, he can't get out of this one.
Exactly. And he also thought like maybe he knew the best course of action was telling the truth. Because like, what's he just going to not tell him that this might have happened? Like, he thought maybe if I tell him the truth, I bring him this information, maybe it'll save me. Like, at least I was honest with him. It doesn't. But, yeah,
Well, I guess I was also thinking, like, is it possible that he saves the idea and tries to use it as leverage one day? But I think the public, like, the little boy saw them, but do you think anyone else was really focusing on it? Like, people were looking, I guess, and they were like, when their hair was out.
When her hair came down, it was like, oh, there's a Targaryen here. Oh, she's yelling for Daemon. What the fuck? Yeah,
so the people know. It's not a secret.
Yeah, it was going to be a rumor that was spreading like wildfire, no matter what. But yeah, he's like, so it appears Rhaenyra and Daemon were spotted at a pleasure house. And Viserys is like, and he's like, do I really have to say it, sir? He's like, you throw vile accusations at my daughter. I need you to say it fucking plainly, dude. Tell me what happened. Tell me what happened. And they were engaged in behaviors unbecoming of a maiden, of a princess. Viserys is like, fucking spit it out. And he goes, they were coupling. And was like, oh, you fucking liar. Look at you coming up here trying to destroy Rhaenyra's reputation. You want your blood on the throne so fucking bad, don't you? And Otto's like, oh, I'm sorry, sir. I didn't mean it. I just saw it and I wanted to tell you I needed. And he's like, get the fuck out of here. And Alicent peeking by is just like, she overhears all of it.
A lot of places to spy on very important rooms around the Red Keep.
Well, you know what? He shouldn't have called for a booty call last night.
Fair.
She slept over. She heard it. That's on him. Yeah, so she's like, oh,
yeah, she was literally just in bed. Like, in the same room. Oh, yeah, she wasn't even spying. She was just in.
Well, she was hidden behind something.
Oh.
Yeah, she was hidden behind, like, the fucking, I can never remember what they're called, but, like, they're what they use to get dressed in privacy. The little,
little
folding
wardrobe
thing.
mirror
Yeah.
just
She was
divider.
behind that, looking through a little crack, and
Did Viserys
then
just
she
think
like,
that she was asleep still, you think?
yeah, Viserys like turns. I think he just kind of got so carried away that he completely forgot she was there.
Mm.
And then he turns around, finds her there, and he's like, "Fuck." And of course she's gonna go talk to Rhaenyra, and she's like, "So, 'tis it true?" And Rhaenyra's like, "I can't very well tell you what's true if I don't know what you're making the accusation for." And I like that it perfectly,
A very Damon line right there.
yes, very perfectly mirrored that which Daemon said. And she's like, "Nah, I think you know what I'm talking about. You were spotted last night with Daemon at a pleasure house. It is said y'all were fucking." And Rhaenyra's like, "Nah, nope, untrue. I would never do such a thing, ever." And she said, "I am the princess. To question my virtue is an act of treason. Who brought you this information?" And Alicent says, "I'm only trying to help." And Rhaenyra calms a little bit and gives a highly sanitized recounting of the evening. "I was only a spectator. I didn't do anything. He took me to a show, he let me watch." She says, "And when Daemon got too drunk, he abandoned me for some whore." Alicent seems relieved. She says, "So you didn't..."
So you didn't really do the...
Did you fuck? And Rhaenyra goes, "Must I truly refute that?"
Yeah, she says, "He didn't even touch me."
Yeah, so here's me. I'm watching this going, hey, she hasn't she's omitted the truth, but she hasn't explicitly lied. I'm watching it, and I was like, okay. I was like, all right, good. She's not completely lying. And then she was like, "Daemon never touched me.
On my
I swear this to
mother's
you upon the
memory
memory of my mother." And I was like, I literally out loud, I love giving commentary as I'm watching to Emily in moments of silence, and I went, "Now you've lied."
Yeah.
And
that it was hard to hear. It was kind of I kind of wanted her to be I don't know. I guess I don't know what I would have wanted. Because obviously she wants to hide it, but she could have even been he kissed me, but then I pushed him away and he left mad. Or I admitted to it in a little bit or whatever, to be yeah, this is why you heard the rumor, but it's not what you think. I thought that's how it was going to go, instead of her just being flat out denying it completely. But I guess she can't really admit to it, though.
I think that's the thing, is that she was there for it. I think it's kind of she's just swearing it off altogether, because she was, in her mind, every bit as guilty a party. She was so the safest way to go about it is to protect Daemon too, in her mind. Daemon never touched me. And yeah, it was the swear this, I was like, man, that's the one that you just took one little step too far for me.
There's only one way for these rumors to become true, and that's if there's a baby inside of Rhaenyra cooking up. This rumor spreads, and then it's oh, Rhaenyra is now pregnant, and the people know that. They're immediately, without question, the baby is Daemon's.
Yeah,
it's, and they're talking about the truth doesn't matter. It's all about perception. I don't know. She's pregnant. She did not drink the medieval Plan B. That's my prediction for this so far.
I'm with that. But this scene tops off with Alicent being like, "Okay, good. I'm sorry I ever doubted you. I don't even want to think about what would have happened for your tour of potentially taking a husband if you might have been sullied. And Rhaenyra's like, sorry. She was like, oh, I've been sullied. Go see to Kristen Cole. I mean, she didn't say shit, but like, in her head, she's like, the flower has been taken. But, yeah, elsewhere, the King's Guard grabs Daemon and hauls him before the Iron Throne. And Viserys is like, kicking the shit out of him, just curb stomps him, is like, you've defiled Rhaenyra. And Daemon's like, and he's like, you don't even fucking deny it. What? And
yeah.
He's like, no. Listen. Wetter to me. He's like, we got our family's done it for centuries. He's like, we need to return the House of the Dragon to its proper glory. And he's like, Viserys is like, fuck no, dude. Are you kidding me? God damn, dude. Fuck you. And he banishes him to the Vale for good. He's like, I never want to see you here again. You get the fuck out of here.
Isn't that what he said last time, though, too?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. When he went straight down to the stepstones and...
So, like, is this how much of a threat is this really? I mean, this one's pretty big. I mean, well, last time it was pretty big. It was making fun of his dead son. Like, yeah, like it's not like last time was less grand or no. I don't think we can really put too much into that threat. It's just kind of Damon's still going to do whatever the fuck he wants.
For sure. But yeah, later on, Alicent and Viserys discuss the matter. And he's like, he didn't deny it, boo. What the fuck am I going to do? And I think this is my favorite shot of the episode, or one of my favorite shots of the episode. I can't remember if it's here or if it's far earlier in the episode, but Alicent standing at her chamber window with the baby, and the baby's like crying like crazy, and she's looking out over the over King's Landing. It's fucking beautiful out there. That's probably my favorite shot of the episode.
It was earlier. Whenever like
I thought it was earlier too. Yeah,
there was a very weird like the housekeeper. I don't know what's it. The maids and the caretaker people. They all started in like formation and walked out all at like the same time, and then like went to go tend to Alicent and the baby. But like, why did they like? Is it just like because they have to be official and it's all royal? Like it felt weird. Like, and it focused on it, and it was like an aerial shot of them like all in formation and walking out all at the same time, and then it shows like Alicent in the window and like with the baby, and like it's normal, and like I don't know, it felt like very cult like for some, like it felt like they were doing something shady for some reason.
I see. Yeah, no, I didn't catch that, but yeah. Regardless, that was my favorite shot. I don't remember when it came, but it was really, really, really pretty. But yeah, Alicent's like, Daemon lied. He's known to lie. He doesn't tell the truth. Just trust me on this one. Rhaenyra, she swore to me that she remains a maiden, and I believe her. And Viserys is like, all right. Let me summon Rhaenyra. So he summons Rhaenyra to announce that she will marry Sir Laenor Velaryon, which will unite the dragons and the naval fleet. She points out that Otto is a liability who only wants Aegon to be king, and he's a real threat to the realm. She's like, and I'll marry Laenor. I'll do that shit. It is my duty, but you got to do your duty as king. And so Viserys calls Otto to the small council room, calling Hightower out for orchestrating Alicent as a distraction in the dark after Emma's death. And he also is like, you've been good, you know? You served Jaehaerys as Hand of the King in his last days. But man, your interests no longer align with those of the realm. Your judgment has been compromised. He removes Otto's Hand of the King pin and tells him he can no longer trust his judgment. He turns his back on the lad. And I gotta say, this was the single most unanticipated event of the week for me. Was Otto being disinherited as Hand of the King.
Yeah, I thought he was going to last way longer. Like, as Hand. Like, I thought he was going to, like, be way more behind the scenes. And
prominent,
Yeah, I didn't think Viserys would catch on this quick.
For sure.
But I guess, now it gives him more of, like, a Littlefinger-esque storyline where he's not in a seat of massive power already, where he's going to have to start, maybe with his whorehouses. Like, maybe that's where Massaria, like, is in the story still. Does exactly what, like, Littlefinger did. I don't know. It was a very, I don't know. Viserys killed, that monologue there. It was not, like, I don't know.
Still
5 days. 5 days is all it took. Or, he was very, it was obvious that he was getting fired, and Otto kind of knew it, and he's like, oh, no, you're, you honor me, your grace. He's saying all these pleasantries, even though he's like, damn, I know I'm done. I'm done here. He's just
Viserys had an energy in this scene that reminded me of Odin in Thor the Dark World when he goes, your birthright was to die. To Loki, I don't know. It just gave me that vibe. I always remember that line. Whenever he's like, you know what? No, your judgment's been compromised, fuckboy. I can't trust you anymore. Get the fuck out.
Give me that pen. Yeah. How do you
Leads me
feel
to
now?
another question. Who's the new Hand? You want to know where my money's at?
Like, can you make it the air?
Almost certainly, I think. But my money is he's going back to Corlys and going, hey, man, let's make amends. I want to marry my daughter to your son, and I want to make you Hand of the King.
Ooh, okay. I was maybe thinking Rhaenys.
That'd be even cooler.
On the other hand, I think, would that piss Corlys off even more? Well, if he says, Rhaenyra is going to get married to your son, your wife is Hand of the King.
You are still the second most powerful man in the realm at that point.
Does it make more sense for it to be Corlys or
Well, he's already the master of ships.
Yeah.
So, I think it would make sense for Rhaenys to come back into the story with a position of power.
Yeah.
Become Hand of the King. He's already said that she's his favorite cousin. He can trust her very faithfully as far as he knows.
Whoever the new Hand of the King is, 5 days until Viserys dies.
Oh.
The new Hand of the King, he's dead immediately. So, I don't know, maybe that's a little, maybe whoever he picks as Hand of the King isn't who Rhaenyra or whoever is going to take the throne would want. And maybe it'll be kind of maybe I should keep you because, my dying father, my dad's dead now. Fuck, I'm sad. And he named you his Hand, so I'll work. I'll trust that,
right,
or whatever. But I guess if she's marrying, what's the son's name?
Laenor.
Laenor. If she's marrying Laenor, I guess Corliss wouldn't be a bad hand. I guess I don't know. I'm speaking as if Corliss is like for sure going to be picked as the hand for like next episode, and that Viserys is for sure going to die within 5 days. But
he doesn't have much left, man. He's almost done.
He's getting close.
I think next week really will be our last week with Viserys. I think the time jump where we get the older versions of the characters, Viserys is dead.
That's the end of young Rhaenyra is the death of Viserys, I'd say. And then like you jump and it's like her mourning it, her way of mourning it was her doing whatever she did during this 10-year jump. Like, do we know how big the jump is?
I don't think it'll be a huge jump. My money is on it will be a pretty big jump, but not 10 years. I think it'll be because she's 19 now. Next episode, we can probably expect her to probably be about 20. I think old Rhaenyra is 25. I think we take a 5-year jump.
Okay. It's a long time, though.
It is a long time, but not 10 years.
A lot could happen. Could happen.
Everything we've seen play out over the course of the show has been 4 years.
True.
It's been a while. But let's get on to this last little scene where Rhaenyra is reading in her room at night when a maester shows up with some tea ordered by the king that will rid you of any unwanted consequences. Looks like Dad's not exactly buying what she's selling. Goes, I has the feeling that you have been sullied. Go ahead and drink this if you wish not to be pregnant. You are my political headache. And I think it's only about to become a larger political headache.
You think she drinks it?
No, I don't.
Do you think she's pregnant?
Yes, I do. So that's another thing. I don't think we take another year-long jump this next episode. I think it's very quick. I think it's within the next few weeks that her and Laenor get wed.
Okay, it's and the next on it's like their wedding, and it's looking sick. Ships.
Next episode looks.
Dude, fuck.
Next episode looks like it's going to be the greatest episode of Game of Thrones ever.
This is the halfway point.
Yeah,
the halfway point.
So fucking crazy. But my money is that next episode ends with her giving birth to a brown-haired baby.
Ooh, it's that quick, you think?
Yes.
Oh, dude, if it happens next episode,
I think we cover a lot of time next week, and then when the 5-year jump happens, her children are a little bit older.
Wow, dude! If I get that satisfaction of the baby having brown hair, no, I kind of want it to fester a little bit. I want the rumors, of it being Daemon's baby to kind of fester a little bit, and then it be a reveal. Yeah, no, it would be a nice end of the episode. It'd be like the baby's crying, but it's like the maester's like, it's a son, because he's expecting it to be, light hair, and he'll see the brown hair, and he'll be like, it's a son. Congratulations. He'll be confused, but or whatever.
My money is that the wedding will be done within 20 minutes of the hour-long episode. The episode kicks off with their wedding.
Yeah.
And by the end of it, she is deeply pregnant. Dude, next episode looks fucking insane.
Yeah, what's the why would they be fight? What would cause someone to fight the now married, L starts the son.
Laenor.
Laenor, fuck. what would cause someone to fight like him? Well, if they get married immediately, maybe it makes sense that like people could think that the baby is his.
Yeah.
Oh fuck. It's there's 3 different ways the baby could pop out. Targaryen hair, brown
Light skin.
hair, or dark skin. Fuck. And that's going to be the big fuck. Dude, they're not going to like let us know if she drank that Plan B. And it could
No,
be
not.
it could be anyone's baby. Fuck. Damon and her are going to fuck. All 3 of them are going to fuck. It's going to be anyone's baby. Like to the audience. Like I think they're all going to fuck, and it's going to be a possibility for all of them.
Okay.
Oh shit. They don't do that, right? Maybe they don't. Like do they real
Well, and here's another thing. I haven't even been considering this. Rhaenyra definitely takes that Plan B.
You think?
She's been so adamant about not wanting to have children. Yeah. No. Fuck no, she doesn't. She's not going to have those babies right now.
Viserys is kind of right in saying that like she'll take the path of resistance. Like she'll have a baby out of spite. You know, it'll be like because it was her decision to fuck if whoever's baby it is. You know, like she'll be like I fucked. You know, that's my decision. I'm fuck it. I'm having this baby now. Like
I can see that too. And you know what? Maybe that's a good one. I think that's fair. Like that would be the only way she has this baby is because the tea was ordered by the king. Because it seems he wanted her to abort it or to Plan B it if it be the case. She'll be like, no.
Maybe she's not pregnant now, but the notion of the king sending her this makes her like, oh, now I'm getting pregnant. Like now you won't stop me. Like now I will make it my goal to get pregnant.
I could see that.
Ooh, okay. Ooh.
But yeah, man, are you fucking ready to give this episode a rating?
Holy fuck. Wow. Episode 4. We're halfway through next week. Jesus.
Yeah, man, it's been a fun fucking ride. But let's get into this. We got 3 ratings. We got out of 10 as far as enjoyment is concerned. That's just how much the episode resonated with us. Completely subjective. However we're feeling is how we're going to go about it. We got genre, just how well it fulfilled this medieval fantasy politicking genre. And then we've got critical rating out of 10, which is just overall visuals, acting, writing, score, which fucked this week. Everything that
Westworld-esque, like a little bit.
Wadi, man.
Oh,
He's
really?
Yeah, same guy. Same guy does it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Very, very. If you hear this and you go, oh, that reminded me of Westworld, it's because it did. Same guy. But yeah. So all those we score them out of 10. We take the average of those numbers, and it becomes our overall rating for the episode. So let's begin with the enjoyment rating. How we feeling?
This was, not flashy, nothing, no dragons here. No battle, no none of that. But this was a very politic-y / like that's going to be the focus of this episode is the character interactions and all these twists that can happen here. And this is more of the love-hate sort of episodes between Game of Thrones fans. It depends, like, if you're in it for the action and you're in it for the dragons and you're in it for, the blood and gore, this episode won't sit high for you. But, like, I love all the conniving and all the planning and all this calculation. Like, this is what the show really is for me. Like, the action and the dragons is a nice
cherry on top.
Yeah, that's not the necessary part of the show. I like it. I won't ever be, ever turn it down. But this is the part of the show that I like more. I don't know if I enjoyed it as much as last episode though. I mean, even I kind of feel like I'm going back on my words, like saying that an episode with action and dragons and whatever I'm enjoying a little more. But like
that's why I was thinking maybe exactly the same as last week. It brought the intrigue to a higher level than last week did. But last week brought the action that this one lacked. So it kind of balances out.
Yeah, I like that. Because giving it any lower than, like, I feel like episode 2, like, is it an 8? I'm like, nah. I'm like, no, it's not that low. And then, like, 8.5. I'm like, no. I mean, this was a great politicking episode.
That's a 9 out of 10 for enjoyment there, baby.
Yeah, I agree. Okay,
genre-wise, pretty damn high on this one as well.
I mean,
the politicking at an all-time level. The
stakes are high.
Yes, indeed. I'm going as far as a Game of Thrones episode. This is another 9 out of 10. I think if it did have the epic action at some point, it would have rounded off to be a perfect 10 out of 10. But I think 9 out of 10 is very fair for this episode as far as the genre is concerned.
Yeah, I agree. It's about on par with episode 1, which we gave a 9, which had actually more action than this episode. But no, this was a pure Thrones episode. It felt Thrones-esque. It was very nice. A lot of story packed into one episode here. Like a lot of things, a lot of moving parts in this episode. So,
which does lead us to our critical rating here. Now let's consider this this overarching story of the single episode. I do think thus far this would be the weakest example of a story in a single episode. This was focused on the return of the King of the Narrow Sea. It was focused on Daemon and the events that take place there. And it does begin with questions of Rhaenyra taking a husband. That is kind of the idea. And she does take on a couple suitors in a very physical manner. Does conclude, she throws that line out at the beginning where she has no interest in popping out heirs and being locked up in a castle, and she is posed with the idea at the very end if she wants to follow that path and go ahead and have this baby, or if she's going to go ahead and plan B it. Visually, this was stunning. I thought this was a very good looking episode, very tastefully done, very artfully done. Thinking?
I feel like this is just kind of is that too high? I feel like this was noticeably, not noticeably, but like the previous episodes, it was like, wow, that was a very good, complete story. The arc was very clear, from beginning to end. We got what we got. But this one was like, it's more of like we're planting seeds for big things to happen in the future. And it's like, you can't really have a complete arc and do that at the same time, I guess, maybe. So like, I don't know if it's worse because of that, that it's not a complete story.
Well, I do think it's fair though, because here's my thing is, I do think that there have been more visually standout episodes. I think 1 and 2 still remain the visual marvels of this series so far. I thought the score was good. I thought the acting was great. However, again, I'm left thinking there's not a lot of standout anything here. Like it's just all just kind of happens. So maybe 8.5 is a more apt rating for the critical level.
Yeah, no, that's still above it. You think this is better than episode 2?
I think I enjoyed it more than episode 2, and I think it was a better episode of Game of Thrones than episode 2 was. However, I don't know that it was as critically well crafted as episode 2. So I think that
I feel like it might even be an 8 critically here. Like, because
yeah,
8 is that's
stellar.
spectacular. That's spectacular. And like visually, yeah, like there's only about 2 shots. One, Allison's looking out the window holding the baby. The other, Rhaenyra in the council room with the sunlight like hitting her through the window as she's looking like away. Like it was very, very beautiful. Like how there was sunlight was lighting half her face, and her wardrobe was.
I will say, as
the wardrobe. This
the
episode.
wardrobe was glorious.
Fuck.
As lewd as the scene was, the brothel scene is very, very visually stimulating. It's a very, very
yeah.
Like I don't think we've gotten as artfully and tastefully done a version of an orgy in Game of Thrones as we did here.
Yeah. This was done right. This wasn't just fucking for fucking or nudity for nudity's sake.
Yeah, like I remember like so many times in Game of Thrones where it was like no score, nothing artful about it. Watch this dude raw dog this woman, please.
Yeah. Yeah, no. This was used while Damon is also like narrating, and like people come here to take what they want. Like it is for a purpose. This is like it was.
It's kind of intoxicating, like it is having the effect on the viewer that it's having on Rhaenyra. She's taking it all in. She's kind of like, oh man, this is kind of awesome. Like I kind of love what's happening here. And ultimately it entices her to, take what she wants.
I don't know. Is 8 low? Now that I feel like it's fair. Like that's the lowest I think I'll go.
Oh yeah, certainly.
But is it 8 or 8.5? I feel like I'm bouncing. It's not. I don't think I'll go like 8.75.
No, yeah, I think I'm good. I'm good with an 8 and 8.5 range. Well, zero in on the things you did enjoy about this episode. Think about that. Damon's story over the course of this episode was utterly fantastic. I thought just the not knowing exactly what he's up to was super fucking fun, super easy to watch. Not easy to watch, hard to watch, but easy to have fun with. I think the thing for me is that I think that Viserys has had far better episodes than he had this week. He was kind of a non-factor this week, which I'm not not a huge fan of. His only great moment was at the end with Otto.
Yeah.
I think part of us, I don't know, Rhaenyra making her way through the city, coming back to Kristen Cole.
True.
Like that's a very fun sequence of events, a very, very well crafted sequence of events. Yeah, I don't know. Like maybe a better way to frame it is, what would you think could have been done better?
Yeah. No, I think through that it got the bump, the half-point bump. It's not an 8 anymore. Now that I'm remembering more of the episode, and the pace was very nice for what the episode was. It never, even though things are getting a little more confusing and a little more complicated, I was never truly lost. I was, a little lost whenever Damon was taken back, and but that was, I think, the whole point is to get you.
Yeah, I think it's supposed to be ambiguous.
It's not supposed to be exactly known why. But I think an 8.5 is fair here.
Cool.
An 8.83. So I'm almost a 9 average for the episode. I feel very fair for what we got here.
Cool. Yeah, I agree. You know, I thought this was it was a great episode of Game of Thrones. It was super, super entertaining. Kept me on the edge of my seat without having like a suspenseful crux. I was just kind of like, what's about to happen next? Like, and I think that's hard to do. I think it was massively impressive, but yeah, I mean, not the best episode of the show, not the worst episode of the show so far. I think it's been good. It's been good. I'm fucking ready for episode 5 now, homie.
Any other predictions? I'm gonna throw in here that Rhaenyra fucks Daemon. She already fucked Sir Kristen Cole, but probably again.
I have a feeling that will be something that takes place.
And
occasions.
One more time, thank you, Laenor. Is it is the right? AE? Oh, let's go. Yep. And it's the trifecta baby paradox. Is what I'll put there because I can't wait for those rumors to fester. Let's see. I kind of want to put in that Viserys is dead next episode. He will die at the birth of Rhaenyra's child comes with the death of Viserys. Maybe not literally at the same time, but like at the end of the episode. I feel, but yeah, I think Viserys croaks. He's done yet. No, his back was. What is wrong with him? And why give the
cut up on the throne?
Why give the crab feeder grayscale as well? You know, like why he's dead? Like, does it actually? You know, the thing I didn't ever think about is Daemon got all of that blood of the crab feeder all over him. Is it possible that Daemon has grayscale?
I suppose it is possible. Yeah. There's also the fact that he hands him the crab feeder's sword. Maybe there's maybe there's something there.
If he had because I guess it's been. How long has it been since last episode? Like after he defeated the crab feeder, like a year?
No,
this isn't Aegon 3 now.
Yeah.
Did they say that, or or it's been like a couple months, maybe 2 months.
Yeah,
or it's been 2 months.
Some time. Yeah.
Or her tour's been. No, she came home 2 months before she was supposed to.
It's been a little bit, but it hasn't been. It has. I think a year or less is a good frame.
So he'd probably know he'd have grayscale by now.
Yeah,
if he did. But I guess
that's
he could
why
be hiding
I don't
it, though.
think it matters.
But he probably doesn't.
No.
Nah. Okay. Just wanted to throw that out there just in case. Just in case Daemon has grayscale, it'd be really cool. If like he got it through the crab feeder by killing him, he didn't know it, and then like it's like I don't know. Okay, I got the trifecta fucking Viserys dying, and yeah, I can just basically get rid of that. Okay, let's see. I don't think anything else.
I don't know that I have much else to go. Who's going to be hand? Who's going to be hand of the king?
Corlys or Rhaenys?
Yeah. You got that one right.
Which one? Did I get Corlys wrong?
Yeah, you got the Y and the L.
The Y and the O?
The L. It's supposed to be Corlys, not Coriolis.
There we go. Corlys. Corlys. Okay.
Yeah, Corlys.
I like. Does she?
I think that's safe.
Oh yeah, no. She legitimately marries Laenor for sure. It's in the next song. Like they're getting married. It's their wedding. Okay.
But weddings never a safe event in Game of Thrones.
Fuck. Is it gonna happen? Like, no way.
There's some shit that pops off at this wedding.
Is it gonna be? Do we have another wedding event? That's gonna traumatize
I don't know
us.
that it'll be. I don't think it'll be like a massacre. I think people will die.
Important people, or just kind of people in the crowd? You think?
My wildest prediction is that Laenor dies at his own wedding.
Fuck. Imagine they get married. They're officially married, and this is the reception now. So like it's official that they were married and like everything. They went off, fucked for their wedding. Came back to the reception. Like the wedding. Yeah, the night has been. It's the next day. I don't know something. Laenor dies, so like he got maybe the baby's his thing in before he's dead. But now Daemon can act like now maybe Viserys is like fuck, actually marry Daemon now. Like we actually it's kind of one of our only plays now. So go ahead. Then like I actually see Laenor dying. I don't think it's that wild of a prediction. Well, he hasn't really been shown a whole lot. He has rode a dragon.
Leads me to the conclusion that his death would be rather inconsequential. Like as far as the viewer, like if there are people there who we do not want to die because of the story, it would be Criston Cole, Daemon Targaryen, Rhaenyra. The person who is important, who it is safest to kill, is Laenor. I think it further sows division between Corlys and the throne. Like I think, and I have like no bearing for this. Obviously, I don't have like a reason that he would get killed, but
I feel like you're right,
I think shit pops off. Laenor gets caught in the crossfire, sort of thing. Someone stands up and like calls Rhaenyra a whore or something.
Jason Lannister. He's like, that should be me. He's gonna get drunk and he's gonna be like, that should be me up there. I should be getting married to Rhaenyra, and then he's gonna like, I don't know. Who knows? Because why else would Jason Lannister be in this show? Is his name Jason?
Yeah.
What a normal name for this show.
Yeah, right. Jason.
It's like if there was a Jeff. I don't know. Like, Jason? Oh, I mean, okay. Fair.
Jason Lannister.
It usually names like Rhaenyra, Rhaenys, Viserys, like they're harder to stick in my brain, or they kind of stick in my brain easier because they're so weird. But Jason is just kind of more forgettable. Like,
yeah, for sure.
But anyway,
no, I think that kind of concludes it for us.
Yeah, 8.83 on the
8.83 out of 10. That's an 88% on the old tomato meter. Pretty well received episode. And with that, I was Colton Robertson. I was joined by Joseph George. Thank you very much, homie.
Oh, thank you for having me. It is always a pleasure.
It is always a pleasure to have you. I cannot wait to have you and for the listeners to return for Fire and Bloom number 105 next week, marking the halfway point in the series. If you would, head to patreon.com/CoroBloom, where you'll find over 40 hours of exclusive content, including comic book pull lists every week, book reviews. I'm doing a lot of Star Wars reading lately. Go check it out there. Follow on Twitter at PennyBloomPod. Follow on Instagram at PennyBloomPodcast. Remember to leave a 5-star rate and review wherever you might be listening, and share this with all your friends who are following House of the Dragon. And remember, peace, love, and bloom. And add it to the chair.